What's up, everybody? Azariel here, and welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 Retro Modernization video. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at a build that was very difficult, even to the point where I'm not even sure if this is like the final version of what I was trying to do, because it's literally that hard. But this is like the best that I could do, and I wasn't going to wait like another whole week because I have an agenda with these retro modernization videos, and I upload one video a week, and I have a certain order that I introduce the builds in, and this was the next build up. And understand that this was by far the most difficult build I have ever made. Hands down. It is the most difficult build I have ever made. It was a struggle. It took me an entire week, an entire couple of weeks, and then some, just to complete it. And I've had builds, or I have builds that will be coming after this that are already finished, that I'm already set to go with. Like this build was literally that difficult. But I wanted to release this video last week, but of course I said that it was going to be late, and it ended up being, it really ended up pouring into next week, and I was just like, you know what, this is the best that I could do with it at the moment. Maybe I'll do an update video in the future, you know just to update it if it's possible. But for right now, this is like the best that I could do with this build. So, of course, as always, what I do is that I let you guys know the cards in the main deck, the cards in the extra deck, and I let you know what the strategy is for the build. So let's take a look at the cards. So for this build, which I'm calling GateGuarded, it has three battle faders, three um, intimate discover hippos, three mandragora, two gate guardian, three kazijin, three sangha, and three suijin, one dark hole, three mystical space typhoon, three photon sanctuary, one sacred sword of 7 stars, three tribute doll, two exceed reception, two call of the haunted, two dimensional prison, one no entry, one torrential tribute, and one try and guess. Extra deck: two Castell Avian Sky Blaster, one Exceed Barian, one Chaos Exceed Barian, two Dark Magician of Illusions, two Gaia the Dragon, a Thunder Charger, one Silent Horror Arc, two number 11 Big Eye, two Master of Blades, one Lucky Straight, one the Sylvan High Arbiter, and one Zubaba General. And as far as the cards in the extra deck, as you guys know, I use the extra decks. I don't really use extra decks like that. They're just ideas that I put in, to remind me, okay, maybe I can go back and make something like this, or maybe I can change things out. They're just for reminders. They're not an actual. There's not an actual extra deck that I make with my build. So, but just to show you the cards that I have there: Arsenal Summoner. I have another Gate Guardian, two Stargazer Magician, two Time Gazer Magician, two Advanced Force, one Lighten the Load, one Exceed Reception, one Call of the Haunting, two Powerful Rebirth, one Proof of Powerlessness, and one Space Time Trap Hole. So understand what the original strategy is, or more so, understand what I'm trying to do here. Retro modernization is taking original builds, I mean the original builds or the original archetypes, and making them playable in today's era of Yu-Gi-Oh, which is not an easy task to do. Mind you, I accomplished this with the Cloudians, a very difficult build to use, and I made it playable, and I won countless duels against top tier builds with them. I've did this with the Amazonas, and my claim to fame to that deck is that I beat a fucking Quasar Dragon build with it. A lot of my builds with retro modernization has one cornerstone, and that's patience. Something that a lot of people don't have in today's game because they've been overexposed to today's builds in Yu-Gi-Oh, which consists of swarming, you know, anti-destruction, monster destruction, you know, saying like spell trap card destruction, spell trap card destruction, nuking the field, just that same plethora of effects and monster and card abilities. It's really that's all they've been fed. So their experiences only tells them that this is all Yu-Gi-Oh is. It's about rushing into everything, swarm, swarm, swarm. I destroy your spells and traps with my monster effects, and I use MST, and I use this, that, and the third, la 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 la. And they don't know patience. They don't understand patience. They don't know what it's like to have, or they don't know what to do when they have a hand that they feel like they can't do anything with because their mind is so programmed to, okay, this deck is only supposed to have this one strategy and this is the only strategy that I'm supposed to have. So they believe that. So when they get cards in their hand that they can actually do something with that they aren't used to having, all they know is, well, I guess I'm, like I got me a bad hand. I can't do anything. When I make my builds, here's the one thing that I do. I always put several strategies into my builds. That is one big secret about me. That's why I've been able to create builds that nobody else seem to be able to create. That's why I've always made builds that other people have been interested in. That's why I've always made builds that people wonder exactly how do I make these builds, like how did you get this build like this? I've been told that before. So that's it. You put several strategies into your build. Don't just go in there thinking, okay, this is all I want to do. Go in there thinking that, okay, this is the main strategy, this is the secondary strategy in case I'm not able to get the primary one off, and let there be a third strategy behind that one, and so forth and so forth. There's always a backup plan with me. And that's how I structure my builds. And this is kind of how I have it for this Gate Guardian build. Now understand, as I was trying to say just a little while ago, that Retro Modernization is about taking the original strategies and trying to bring them in today's era of Yu-Gi-Oh! The original strategy for the Gate Guardian build was to get was to get Sanga of Thunder, Kazejin, and Suijin all on the field simultaneously in order for you to summon Gate Guardian. And it's a funny story. I actually told someone one time that if anybody was able to summon Gate Guardian in today's era of Yu-Gi-Oh, I mean, just get it on the field and be able to attack with it and possibly even win a game with it, you have my utmost respect. Nobody will have more respect than you because this is a difficult card to get on the field. In theory, this has the same summoning requirements as an Egyptian god. The only difference is it takes 3 specific monsters on the field in order to get this on the field. So I would say that this is more difficult to get on the field than an Egyptian god card, because Egyptian gods, with Egyptian gods, it's pretty much just like with any 3 monsters. This card takes 3 specific monsters, and so the build strategy is formed around getting Kazejin, Sanga, and Suijin on the field as quickly as possible, with the ability to at least try to protect yourself, and should they get destroyed, you should be able to get them back on the field without a problem. Has a little bit of draw power to aid you. So let me talk about the cards and strategies that I have here. First off, Battle Fader. Now, Battle Fader is going to be something that you need. Suijin, Kazejin, and Sanga are all level 7s. And you're not going to be able to do anything with Gate Guardian, like until you get these 3 on the field. And with that being said, you're going to need something to protect you from those attacks that will be oncoming. And Battle Fader is just that card that can just prevent an entire battle phase, or like pretty much like an entire swarm of attacks in one fell swoop. Plus, you get this on the field. It brings me to my next card, which is this guy right here, Intermate Discover Hippo, which allows you another normal summon for a level 7 or higher monster. Hint, hint, level 7, Kazejin, Sanga, Suijin. And you'll be able to normal summon again. So in the event, so ideally, also this ties into Mandragora. Um, if either one of these, Mandragora or what I'm saying, like Battle Fader, is on the field, you normal summon this, and you'll be able to normal summon Sangha, Suijin, or Kazijin. I wanted to have some type of setup here with like level 4 or lower monsters, because it was no way you were going to be able to get everything out with just level 7 monsters. Like, it just wasn't going to happen. And that's the original plan. Now, I have Photon Sanctuary in here to help aid in normal summoning Kazijin, Sangha, and Suijin. Now, with Photon Sanctuary, obviously, you'll be able to normal summon Sangha in face-up attack position, because when you activate this, you can't normal summon or special summon, I think. Or yeah, like you can't normal summon, special summon, or flip summon any monsters besides light attribute monsters. So Sangha is safe when it comes to Photon Sanctuary. Now, even though you can't summon, you can still set with Photon Sanctuary. So that's still good for Suijin and Kazijin, because Sangha, Suijin, and Kazijin, they all have the same effect. Uh, it activates during the damage step, and it reduces the attacking monster's attack to 0 during damage calculation. So that's pretty much, I would say like 22 to 2400 damage to your opponent. You know, um, like your opponent's going to be taking some damage there. So this is good for that. Now, Sacred Sword of 7 stars, obviously level 7 monsters across the board. Suijin, Kazejin, Sangha, they're level 7, and this will be good for some draw power. That's why that's in there, because you're going to need it. Uh, Also, I put in Tribute Doll, because this is another card that I feel can help aid in getting Kazejin, Sangha, and Suijin on the field. There's no limit to how many times this can be used per turn, but um, in the events that you have like multiple, monsters on the field, tokens, whatever the case may be, uh, you can use those as fodder for Tribute Doll to get Kazejin, Suijin, or Sangha on the field. And the same thing goes for Exceed Reception. If you already have, Kazejin, Suijin, or whatever, or like whoever on the field already, and you just need that extra piece to get on the field, you can use Exceed Reception to help you get that. Of course, the monster's attack and defense becomes 0, and it's really nothing to worry about then, because by the time you have those 3 on the field, you should have at least one Gate Guardian in your hand, or you can exceed into something that you feel like you may need with the monster that you summon with Exceed Reception, so you don't have to worry about taking that damage or whatever. Also, I got Call It Haunted in there, in the event that, they're in the graveyard, Kazejin, Suijin, Sangha, they're in the graveyard and you need that one extra piece or like the 2 extra pieces to get Gate Guardian on the field. Dimensional Prison, obviously, I like the card. To me, in many cases, it works better than Mirror Force, because it's so many monsters these days that are being used that are so anti uh, destruction that you can just pull them right off the field and you can banish them with Dimensional Prison. So no entry obviously used is for your opponent swarming the field or whatever the case is, and you can just switch them to attack mode when they try to attack you. You can prevent like a ton of attacks with that card. Torrential Tribute speaks for itself. It's the same thing as Dark Hole. And Try and Guess is because I feel like, well, or at least from my experience using this build, you're going to lose life points, and you're going to need to get those back. And Try and Guess is in there for that purpose. So, moving on to the extra deck. Now, here's the thing about me with extra decks, and I've said this in previous Retro Modernization builds videos before. The extra deck is not something that is go-to. Like, the builds aren't structured necessarily for that. That's not the primary purpose of it. It's there in the event that you may need something extra that the monsters cannot do. So don't go to the extra deck if you feel like you don't, if there's no need to go there. You know what I mean? So, of course, Avian is to bounce things off the field. If you don't have Gate Guardian and your monsters aren't strong enough to take care of whatever threat your opponent has on the field, Exceed Barian is there to help with that. Uh, of course, if your opponent is playing more of a defensive game, you have Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger, to inflict piercing damage to your opponent. Arc is in there, obviously, for, you know, what Arc does. It snatches up special summon monsters in attack position from your opponent's side. Same thing with Big Eye. It just takes that shit. Master of Blades, pretty damn obvious. It takes, well, it prevents the effects of your opponent's monsters that that targets a face-up card, and as well as you can destroy other cards on the field with it. Lucky Straight is just in there for the sake of try and guess. It's not really in there for, you know what I'm saying, like just to use. But I guess if you want to use it, use it. Arbiter in there just for the sake of, if you have Mandragora, or if you have like a Mandragora on the field that you can use with it, then feel free. And it also does some other things. You guys can check that out. It bounces. And Zubaba General is in there just for the simple fact that if you don't have the means to bring Gate Guardian on the field and you have it in your hand, you can use this to power up. You can use it to power up Zubaba General and do a bunch of attack damage. So, I mean, like a bunch of battle damage. So, I mean, like that's 5,370. 5,370 attack that Zubaba General is going to be able to do. So, yeah, man, this is the build. And as far as the extra deck goes, I'm still thinking of ideas. Now, Powerful Rebirth is in there for Mandragora, or if I feel like I need to add in any other level 4 lore monsters like Arsenal Summoner. I didn't want to add too many Arsenal Summoners in the, or add any Arsenal Summoners in there. It's just an idea, because it can search out Gate Guardian, you know, in that situation that you feel that you want to search out Gate Guardian because you have, like the 3 pieces on the field in order to use it. Like you just want to search it out. I didn't add them in there, but that's an idea to use. I also took out 1 Gate Guardian because I didn't want to have 3 of them in there. I felt it was a bit much. Stargazer and Time Gazer Magician are in there just to help. It's an idea to help get Kazejin, Sangha, and Suijin on the field faster. Obviously via the pendulum summoning method. Advanced Force is meant to be comboed or used in combination with Powerful Rebirth. You special summon a level 4 monster back on the field. It gains a level via Powerful Rebirth, and then you'll be able to use Advanced Force with it. So that's an idea as well. Lighten the Load. This is a card that if you... I didn't add any of this stuff, but if you feel like you are going to get Gate Guardian or Kazejin, Suijin, etc., and you feel like you don't want it, or you feel like there's another card you can use that can help you better at the moment, then Lighten the Load would be a card that I guess you would want to add in there. And Space Time Trap Hole is just there for for a situation that if your opponent just does like a massive amount of special summons, you know what I mean, like it's there to use. So And proof of powerlessness, if you control a face-up level 7 or higher monster, destroy all face-up level 5 or lower monsters your opponent controls. God damn it. I will never get used to that. But yeah, destroy all face-up level 5 or lower monsters your opponent controls. Monsters you control cannot attack. So, that's something. I only have one in the extra deck. I didn't really plan on using it again. Just another idea. So overall, man, this is like the best that I could do with the Gate Guardian build. Uh, it's a, it's really, really one of those things that scratches your head, and it is fucking ridiculous to use. It's extremely hard. You have to be extremely patient with this build. Um, as I mentioned earlier, I plan on doing an update soon because I'm pretty sure that I can fix this build up better than this. So for the time being, this is it. You know, like I'm gonna tinker with it a bit more. Like I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna try to redesign it a bit more to try to see what else I can come up with. But for now, like after all the cards that I've seen, like unless something new comes out on Dueling Network in like the next week or so, I'm this is it. Like I do a lot of researching on cards, and this is like the best stuff that I can find. Maybe I can come up with a better combination of cards, and like if I really just sit with it a bit longer. But right now, like this is the best idea that I can come up with involving trying to get Gate Guardian on the field. So it's a doozy. Try it out. Tell me what you think, and you know, have fun with it. That's what retro modernization is all about. Taking old builds and basically trying to teach an old dog new tricks. So, thank you guys for watching. Peace, and I'll see you guys for another retro modernization video.